How effectively do Inside Out and Inside Out 2 represent how we process emotions? Specifically, how do they represent how we process and regulate them? I enjoyed the films because they were written and performed well, approachable, relatable, and easy to understand, while also getting the science right. Of course, some simplifications were necessary, but they were done in a way that helped in approachability and understandability, which in turn increased relatability. There is some disagreement, though. For example, the YouTube channel FilmSpeak accuses the film of retreading the plot of the first film, something that the director, Kelsey Mann, specifically chose not to do after figuring out that that's what sequels he didn't like had done, as he describes it in an interview.
The ones I liked had a sense of originality to them. And the other ones were like, let's just do it again!
Also, Alan mentioned on the channel Cinema Therapy that people online were negatively criticizing Joy's rage scene, where she, voiced by Amy Poehler, exploded in rage, and anger was the one to calm her down. Specifically, this was about the fact that the emotions strayed from their strayed from their restrictive archetypes. There are other points of controversy as well. Anything made for a wide audience will be faced with some amount of hate, but that's not the point of this video essay. Let's get off that tangent and go back to my opening question. How effectively do Inside Out and Inside Out 2 represent how we process and regulate our emotions? Emotional regulation is one of those things that needs to be balanced. Too little and problems. Too much and problems. A scholarly paper about clinical narcissism says that it has been characterized by difficulties in emotion regulation. Just keep it in mind. While I'm going to be discussing how too much emotion regulation can be a problem throughout this video essay, some amount is actually necessary. It's just that we haven't found the right balance yet. In an article titled Dysregulated Anxiety and Dysregulating Defenses, the authors mention the capacity to adaptively regulate negative emotion is considered a protective factor against the development and maintenance of psychopathology. So clearly it needs to be done at least sometimes. Emotional regulation, however, is overdone when you don't attend to your emotional needs. Faking an emotional reaction takes effort, and the opposite is even more true. As a study found out, hiding emotions requires the individual to make efforts to continually manage emotional responses as they arise. These repeated efforts burn cognitive resources that could otherwise be used for more favorable functions in the social contexts in which the emotions arise. This hiding can be seen in Inside Out 2, in and following the car ride scene at 17 minutes and 10 seconds. After hearing that Bree and Grace were assigned to a different school, Riley's emotions just stood there waiting for the next move. I guess I can't blame them, though, since the console just got an unsolicited modification.
Hey, Monty, you got that console?
Yeah. Give me a sec. Hey, what are you doing? All right, she's all set. Set with what?
Overreact much?
I barely touched it. Those morons broke the console.
Anyway, Sadness, Phyllis Smith, tried to take the console, but she was held back until Riley was out of the car.
Oh, this is so sad.
No, wait, Sadness! No. Just keep it together until we're out of the car.
At which point, Disgust shouted,
Guys, these are high schoolers. We do not want to be running puppy, do we?
Sadness then had to wait until after camp because it's not considered normal to think about your friends not being with you, I guess. A scholarly study showed how athletes felt more respected when they displayed high pain tolerance and ignored their injuries for the sake of appearing tough. Unfortunately, this only exacerbated their injuries. I know that sadness and physical pain are not exactly the same, but this act of bottling up non-preferable emotions, feelings, etc. is analogous to ignoring pain. Whether it's physical pain or an emotion, the message is important. Remember the cognitive resource burning I mentioned earlier? Well, the burning part can be seen in the movie at 1 hour and 15 minutes, when Riley is in the penalty box and there's nothing left. So Anxiety, Maya Hawke, bolts around the console, pressing buttons all over in a futile attempt to get it together. This backfires and just makes an orange hurricane. Nothing helpful. Another situation that I interpreted as emotional exhaustion was that vacuum incident from the first movie.
No, wait! Stop it! No! No! Joy, no! That's a core memory!
Stop it! Let
Wait!
go!
Core memories!
I'm saying this is emotional exhaustion because it has basically the same cause, excessive emotion hiding, and it causes similar instabilities. The scholarship also mentions that we cannot selectively numb emotion. If we numb the dark, we numb the light. If we take the edge off pain and discomfort, we are by default taking the edge off joy, love, belonging, and the other emotions that give meaning to our lives. To put it simply, emotional suppression is indiscriminate. Inside Out, or Inside Out 2, but I'm told that it
Make her feel scared. That'll make her change her mind.
Brilliant!
I know it's brilliant. Do it.
Nothing's working. What? Why isn't it working? Let me try.
Hey, you probably
Let me do it. Get out of here.
Are we absolutely sure this is relevant?
It
No.
is.
So anyway, emotional suppression is more like this. It's not like you can just selectively wait. My camera. Oh no. Wait. Was that caused by the switch? Let's see, if I flip it back on. We're back now. Well, you numb the dark, you numb the light. When you do that, no image can form. But then again, while too much suppression is a problem, so is not enough. Sometimes you have to flip this switch and suppress your emotions, but it isn't healthy to do it all the time. Overall, Inside Out and Inside Out 2 are really effective in representing how we process emotions. They even have blatant examples of some common things that can go wrong, like overregulation and normalization of emotions, and emotional exhaustion. This effective representation even helped me understand my own emotions better. I frequently think of my emotional state in both real time and retrospect, using this framework that Inside Out set up and Inside Out 2 expanded on. It may be just a model, but it's a really powerful one that's actually quite useful.